I've been really fortunate to have had many people who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. People who uplifted me and just really looked out. It started actually in elementary school. One of my teachers who noticed some things that was going on with me, and she had her husband to come and have some conversations with me because my grandmother was raising me. She had only raised two girls, so there were things that she did not know about raising a young man, or things that and a lot of things she didn't want to know about raising a young man. I came home from school one day, and my uncles and aunts and everybody was sitting down. They wanted to know what was going on with me, and they heard I was gay. Am I gay? Am I bisexual? What am I? And it was really hard. My grandmother kicked me out, who I adored, and I know she adored me. I was actually outed by her friend, who was at another friend of hers, and heard her grandson talking about me. So she ear hustled, came back and told my grandmother what she had heard, but she also told my grandmother if you were gay, that you're perverted, that you're still anything. And my grandmother didn't understand because that was not the child that she raised. And she was afraid, and she put me out. I went to school that next morning after staying over with another family friend. And I had my first hour teacher was my Spanish instructor. So they noticed I wasn't talking, I wasn't participating the way I normally did. So I told them what happened. They invited me to come and spend the night with them and try to talk through some things and help me navigate some conversations, or how I could have a conversation around that. And so I called my mother, and she just said, baby, are you gay, you bisexual, whatever it is, you're my baby, I love you. And she said that she would talk to my grandmother and to go home after school. So when I came in the house, we lived upstairs, my grandmother was actually standing. When she heard me come through the door, she stood up on the stairs, and she just opened her arms to me. And she said, baby, I'm sorry, I just didn't understand. I know what they were telling about you was not the baby that I raised. Help me understand. So we had that conversation. I still don't think she really understood, but it worked out. It worked out. Being able to walk into spaces and not have to think about my sexual orientation, what color I am, how I walked, how I talked, because many of us put on these rules, in order to navigate throughout the community. And it was really difficult going places, into spaces, and when you have to constantly think, is somebody gonna clock you? Is somebody gonna call you out? Is that the gay guy over there? And that become, for us, many of us, a way of living. Not being able to be our authentic selves because we were being told that there was something wrong with us. And the only thing that we needed was to be loved and accepted for the people that we are. So many of us almost created these alter egos, that we would have in different places and spaces. So that was the most difficult thing to overcome. I didn't touch on this very much, but there was a great deal of child abuse, not child abuse, but sexual abuse from men in the community. And that was trying to navigate that as well, and just not understanding. I remember when I first heard the word punk, I went to the dictionary, or the encyclopedia, and it said punk was a piece of floating wood. That don't make sense. Why they call me a piece of wood or fag? Look it up. It's English word for cigarette. Even more confused. 'Cause at this time, I'm maybe like 11, 12. But I was starting to hear these words and I began, and some of those words were used towards me. And so, once again, you go inside, got a girlfriend to keep away some of the attention on me. But I was very popular in school. I not only was I dancing in school, I was involved in our musical choir. I started a modeling club. And the interesting thing was a lot of the guys that kind of bullied and talked stuff about me wanted to be a part of this club. And so, and then after graduation, moving to New York and moving to LA and then to Atlanta, but never really feeling that I could be my authentic self in all of the spaces and places that I went into the way I'm able to do now. I don't think about any of those things anymore. I am who I am. This is me. And I had to learn to love myself. I did lots and lots of therapy throughout the years to help me manage and deal with some of the stuff that happened to me as a child. There's this thing in the mental health community or behavioral health community now. It's referred to whereas changing, rather than asking people what's wrong with them, asking people what happened to them. Because so many times we live our lives being judged, but people don't know how you got to where you are. And oftentimes things that happen in our childhood manifest themselves into our adult lives, but we never make the connection, as to why we're doing some of the things as adults that we're doing, while we're over drinking, overeating, have trust issues, all of those things. Because many of us had a lot of trauma from childhood that never got resolved. And so of course now they have, they call it ACEs, advanced childhood experiences, and many of us had several of those. So there was work to be done, trying to figure out who we are, me trying to figure out who I am. But what wound up happening when I stopped trying to be how other people thought I should be or how we're socialized in society, people embraced me, for being Ronnie. I have an amazing relationship with my family, my siblings, my nieces and nephew. As a matter of fact, my brothers and sisters said, well, bro, don't look like you're going to be having no babies on your own. So my sister named her first son after me. Two of my brothers gave my nephews my middle name, and most recently, which is Levon, and most recently, my beautiful niece that I helped raise, Miracle, named her daughter after me. So she's my little Gracie. And so I'm gonna live forever. And so having that kind of love and support from a family, which unfortunately doesn't happen with a lot of people in the community, really kind of boosted my confidence. It helped me with my self-esteem even, and defined me. So, and it's been a constant journey.